Determine the arc length. So to determine the arc length, first of all you square the derivative, you add 1 and then you put a square root, then after you integrate and then you find the 1. So first of all, let's start by deriving. So we'll say dy over dx. You start by deriving, this is the first step, and then deriving this 1 over 32 is a constant. Then deriving those 1, you'll multiply the 4 by -2, we'll have -8 here, and then you'll add -1 on top, you'll have -3 plus here you'll multiply this one, you'll have 32, and then by subtracting the power of 4 you'll have 3 here. Let's simplify this one first of all. Dividing by 32 throughout, you'll divide a -8 by 32. 8 goes how many times on 8? 1. Here on 32 is 4 times, so we'll have something like this, negative x raised to -3, because 8 goes 4 times, we will have 4 here. Then dividing this 32 by 32, you'll have that is 1, so you'll have something like 32 and 3 like this. And then now we're at this stage, let's rearrange this one to put it in a positive form, or to avoid the negative in the front of this one. So putting this one, we start by putting x raised to 3 this side, and then putting this one this side. So taking this to the bottom, we'll have something like this, and then now it's positive form, and then the 4 will remain like this, and then we have something like this. Okay, now we're at this stage. This stage, it says after you square it, after deriving it, so you square it, so we'll have something like dy over dx squared. You have to square it, and then squaring this one, you have x cube and then 1 over 4x cube and then square like this. And then from here, from squaring it, you square this one, the square of this one, you have something like 2 times 3 here when you square it, because they are both exponent on top. And then the middle part, you multiply this one, and multiply by 2, so you'll have something like x cube, starting this, multiply by -1 over 4x cube, multiply by this 2, and then for this one you square it as well. You say you have positive 1 over 16 x raised to 6, and then this one, solving this one, you have something like x 6, and then multiplying this one, this will cancel with this one, and then you will be left with -2 times, because this one just added, this is positive, we'll have something like -2 over 4 is what is remaining, this 2 and this 4 here, and then plus this 1 over 16 and 16 raised to 6, so this one is the same as 1 over 2, so we have something like this, x 1 over 2 then plus 1 over 16 x 6. So now we are at this stage, and then from this stage we have to put 1 after this stage, adding 1 like this. This is another stage, and this So because we are done with this one is this one, like the whole thing is here. We just will add one on this one. So we start by adding one, we put one here, and then we'll have something like x6 minus 1 over 2, and then plus 1 over 16x raised to 6. And then from here, these are the like terms, these are numbers, 1 over 2 and 1. So adding these two, you'll have something like x raised to 6, and 1 plus this one is like a half. Cutting a loaf, you cut a half, that means you subtract the half on a loaf, you will have a half. So you have plus 1 over 2, and then plus 1 over 6. Now we are at this stage, need to simplify this one, and taking the common factor here. The common factor is here, it's 1, that means this one is like 1. You'll multiply everything here by like this, 1 times 2 times 16x raised to 6. So at this stage, you will take everything here, which is like what is here, you put it here. So now, because 1 is here, you'll multiply by this x here. So you will have 2x, 2 times 16 this and this one will multiply together, you'll have 12. It's like we'll add them, exponent, you add them, this one, and then this one is this side. Because here there's 1, you eliminate 1, and then plus here there's 1 over 2. Because here there's 2, you just multiply the 1 by 1 and 16. You'll say because the 2 is already here, the 2 will eliminate the 2 here. So you just eliminate the 2 and then multiply everything that is here. Same here, you eliminate the 16, you take what? The 1 and the 2, you multiply it here. So we have something like 1 times 2. Because the 16 and the x is there, x squared. So just eliminating. So as you can see here, we keep on eliminating what is here. So here we eliminated 1 because it's already here. And then here we eliminate 2. This is for this one. This one is for, and this one is for this one, and this one as well is for this one. Here we eliminated the 16. It's like this. So let's multiply everything now. Multiplying everything, this is 2, that means we'll have 32 here. 2 times 16 is 32 raised to x raised to 12, and then multiplying 1 by 16 is just 16. You write just 16x raised to 6, and then here you'll have 1 times 2, so you just have 2 here, then underline like this, and then just here you just multiply the 2 times 16 is 32, so we'll have something like this. Now continuing, taking 2 as a common factor, we'll take 2 here. 2 is a common factor here, we're left with 16 x raised to 12 plus here you'll be left with 8 x raised to 16 plus here we'll have 1, and then all divided by 32 over, so this one will cancel this one. So the how many 2 here, 1, and here is there 16. We have to write 16 here, and let's write there. Now we are left with 16x raised to 12 plus 8x raised to 6 plus 1, all divided by 16x square. 16x raised to 2, not x square. Okay, from here you have to, what do we do here? We factor this one. The factors for this one, you just reversing the process. Square root of 16, and this one you will have, like here we eliminate 2 times this one, there you just a square root. Okay, it will be 4y. Let me say 4y. Okay, let's say 4, not 4y, but 4x factors. So 4x, yeah, and then the power is 6 here, so that means you have power of 6 here, plus 1, because 1 does not have a, you only have a multiple, a factor of 1. So here, as you can see, 4 times 4 is 16, and then when you multiply this one is 12, and then when you add these two, it's 8. So 1 times 1 is this one, so it comes out, so it's like that. And then we divide it by 16 like this, and then because this one is the same, you can just put it like 4, and then plus square, because they are we can square them, they are 2, and then here is 16 raised to 6, x raised to 6. Now we are at this stage, we put the square root sign. Putting the square root sign of 1 plus because we already added 1, this thing is this, we just solve it, is everything here is here, we have solved this, everything here we have added 1 is like this. Now it's complete, you just put a square root sign on top, so we have something like this. Putting a square root of on top, here you have 6 plus 1 square all over 16 raised to 6. So you have something like this. Now we can do this, eliminate the square root, like 4x raised to 6 plus 1 divided by a square root of 16. So you can do this when you have a square root, if there, can put the square root on top, square root on the bottom, and then this one is 4x raised to 6 plus 1, and square root of 16 is 4, square root of this one is 3. It's like 2 times this one, because it's like raising this one to half, just divided this one by 2, it is 6 by 2, and then from here can divide by 4 by 4, by 4 times plus 1. So we have something like this. This 4 will cancel out, and then we'll be left with 6 x raised to 6 minus 3. This 3 is this one, and then plus. Here we can leave it. No, you can take the x to the power negative 3, and then we leave the 4 like this. Still okay. And then we have something like 3 plus this one, it's divided by 4. Now from here it's time to put this integral sign. Integral sign, because we have a limit of 1 and 0 and 1, and then now we are at the stage, we're already done with the square root sign, so we're here. This is another stage, but we're just putting the integral sign and the limits, the boundaries. Then from here we just substitute as it is. X raised to 3 plus x raised to negative 3 over 4 dx. Now integrating this one, integral of this one, it's then this one add 1, you have something like this. Adding 1 here, you'll have negative 2, and then 4 multiplied by okay. Now because when you substitute 0 here, this is 1, we'll have 0, you'll have 0, so we can leave the other side. Substituting 1 here, we'll have 1 over 4, and then here is to negative is 4 times have negative 8, so this one is the same as 1. Can just leave it like that. 1 over 4 minus 1 over 8. Solving this one, how do we solve it? This multiplied by this multiplied by that, then multiply the bottom part. But because 4 goes here, so this is the lowest common denominator of them all. 4 goes here, how many times? 2 times 2 times this, will have 2. 8 goes how many times? 1. Something like this. So we're left with 1 over 8. Can try by calculator, get something like this, and this one is I think is 0.375 units. Let's check by calculator. So we have something like this is 1 over 4 minus 1 over 8. 1 divided by 4 minus 1 divided by 8, or it's 1,125 is 0.125 unit. Is it unit? Yeah, unit. Okay, that's it. This is how you will do. You calculate the arc length. Is very long, it takes time, but all about explaining, understanding. If you understand how you go through the steps, it's easy to do the other one. So just first of all you do those steps. First of all, these are the steps. Let me list them again. First of all, you derive, right? And then when after deriving it, this one, you just simplify it as far as you can. And then the next thing, you square it. And then when you have squared it, simplify it as far as you can. And then add 1. And then when you have added 1, square it, simplify it as well. Continue. From 1 you add the square root. And then when you have added, simplify it as far as you can. Then now you put the integral sign. Then this is the end part. You just integrate. It will be simpler if you go through the steps as it is, because if you just put everything in one place, sometimes it's hard to get there, to learn to the correct answer. So thank you for watching. See you on the next videos.